Hello students, welcome to the lecture on Introduction to Enterprise Resource Planning, and after the lecture we will be able to learn the following objectives. Explain the concept of Enterprise Resource Planning, understand characteristic of ERP, define supply chain management, define integrated management, information seamless integration. Let's start with Enterprise Resource Planning ERP system. ERP is a business management system that comprises integrated sets of comprehensive software which can be used when successfully implemented to manage and integrate all the business functions within an organization. These sets usually include a set of matured business application and tools for financial and cost accounting, sales and distribution, materials management, human resource, production planning and computer integrated manufacturing, supply chain and customer information. These packages have the ability to facilitate the flow of information between all supply chain processors, internal and external, in an organization. Furthermore, an ERP system can be used as a tool to help improve the performance level of a supply chain network by helping to reduce cycle times. However, it has traditionally been applied in capital-intensive industries such as manufacturing, construction, aerospace and defense. Recently, ERP systems have been expanded beyond manufacturing and introduced to the finance, healthcare, hotel chains and education, insurance, retail and telecommunications sectors.
This is Tom, the CIO. Although ERP is the backbone of his business, he's always thought that it's complex, expensive, inflexible, and difficult to integrate. He feels that his ERP doesn't provide the real-time visibility needed to proactively respond to changes. It needs to be less complicated, provide a 360-degree view of the business, connect their disparate systems, and allow them to manage change and drive innovation. It's time for Tom to think differently about ERP. Next-generation ERP is more operational and delivers an engaging, more personalized user experience. Instead of accessing multiple systems, each with their own navigation, users have access to all the information they need, according to their role or job function. Prioritized actions guide them to the urgent tasks of the day, and interactive charts monitor KPIs, giving them actionable information at a glance. No matter how many systems Tom has, he can connect them all, streamlining and automating workflows, breaking down information barriers, and reducing the complexity of his business. An open and lightweight middleware allows Tom to easily access data from his ERP, supply chain, and enterprise asset management systems. As a manufacturer, this provides Tom with greater visibility so he is able to detect, act on, and manage business-critical events such as machine failures, missed deliveries from suppliers, and rush orders. With an ERP solution that supports business agility, he is able to drive out costs and drive up growth. And given it was designed specifically for his industry, it's flexible enough to support his specific business processes. A system that works the way Tom's organization works, not the other way around. So now Tom has a different view. It's time to think differently about ERP and about your ERP partner.
The ERP is now considered to be the price of entry for running a business, and at least at present for being connected to other enterprises in a network economy to create business-to-business electronic commerce. Furthermore, many multinationals restrict their business to only those companies that operate the same ERP software as the multinational firm. It is a fact that ERP is for big firms, and smaller firms have to adjust their business model and approach according to the practices and software adopted by the big firms. With the opening up of the economy, small to medium-sized enterprises, SMEs, have found the going very difficult. Since they do not have the robustness associated with large companies, SMEs have to tap the power of IT and an integrated information system to stay competitive and customer-oriented. The ERP is often considered the answer for their survival. Therefore, the ERP software market has become one of today's largest IT investment worldwide. A recent survey predicts that the spending on ERP will reach INR 330 billion in 2003. It continues to be one of the largest fastest growing and most influential players in the application software industry in the next decade. Let us now study the concept of enterprise resource planning. In today's competitive world, many major companies have decided to use a popular tool that has evolved over the past few decades. ERP, the descendants of MRP second, offers the answer to the economic and productivity travels of manufacturing and service enterprises. Thus, the ERP system has become very popular as an enterprise management software tool. In order for a software system to be considered ERP, it must provide an organization with functionality for two or more systems. While some ERP packages exist that only cover two functions for an organization, most ERP systems cover several functions. The term ERP originally referred to how a large organization planned to use organizational-wide resources. In the past, ERP systems were used in larger, more industrial types of companies. However, the use of ERP has changed and is extremely comprehensive. Today, the term can refer to any type of company, no matter what industry it falls in. In fact, ERP systems are used in almost any type of organization, large or small. Specifically, we can say that a 95% performance in independent vital enterprise elements. Item master, bills of material, production master schedule adherence, inventory accuracy, production orders accuracy and purchase order accuracy will reflect a cumulative 75% in an ERP environment. In 1990, Gartner Group first employed the acronym ERP as an extension of Material Requirements Planning (MRP) after planning and computer integrated manufacturing. Without supplanting these terms, ERP came to represent a large whole reflecting the evolution of application integration beyond manufacturing. Not all ERP packages were developed from a manufacturing core. Vendors variously began with accounting, maintenance, and human resources. By the mid-1990s, ERP systems address all core functions of an enterprise. Beyond corporation, governments, and non-profit organizations also began to employ ERP system. Corporations go for ERP either to solve the existing problems or to explore new opportunities. Actually, these two approaches are negative and positive approach respectively. One aspect of the negative approach forces some corporations to go for ERP to solve their Y2K problem. This is particularly true of those corporations that are heavily dependent on legacy systems running on old mainframes. The second aspect of the negative approach is to get over the problems of islands of heterogeneous and incompatible information systems that were developed over the past several years in many organizations. Functional are modules representing areas such as finance, marketing, HR, and production in these organizations would be running on diverse hardware and software platforms, leading to nearly insurmountable problems of reconciling data locked up among the diverse systems. From a positive perspective, many organizations look at the great opportunity provided by ERP software that leads to almost instant access of transactional information across the corporation. The ERP is the evolution of manufacturing requirements planning (MRP) second. From business perspective, ERP has expanded from coordination of manufacturing processes to the integration of enterprise-wide backend processes. The BOMP is the combination of information technology and business processes of maintaining the appropriate level of stock in a warehouse. The activities of this processor include identifying inventory requirements, setting targets, providing replenishment techniques and options, monitoring its messages, reconciling the inventory balances, and reporting inventory status. The MRP first is a predecessor of enterprise resource planning application. The ERP has become the talk of the day not only with regards to management and information system, but also for the whole business. Companies were able to turn raw materials into finished products easily, even without any technical backups. Companies could not engage in mass production schedule for fear of decline in the customer's demand. Hence, they suffered from some limitation like not being able to predict the demand properly. The question of allocating raw materials and scheduling their purchase turned out to be another headache. If companies were unable to predict sales, it would neither be logical to expect them to decide the exact quantity of raw materials required for production. Dr. Joseph Orlicki invented MRP first in the year 1960. This system comprised a computer that helped to compute the exact quantum of raw materials and sales. This point proved to be the start for integrating IT with manufacturing system. Ever since, they have become inseparable after advancement in the name of MRP second and ERP, while the latest one being ERP second. The MRP planning is a cross of MRP software. The MRP1 works like a simple mathematical formula. If all the inputs are fed in one end and the calculation applied, the output is received at the other end. The MRP's application in the working environment is wide in nature. It just does not limit to production. It can calculate each and everything related to production. The MRP was in existence right from the year 1960. The MRP second, otherwise referred to as manufacturing resource planning, and able to overcome the setback of MRP first, the acronym of Material Resource Planning.
ERP makes businesses more efficient. It makes businesses more profitable, gets employees paid on time, lets management make smarter and more strategic decisions, and even gets your products to your customers. Sounds pretty cool, right? Okay, so now that we know that, what exactly is ERP? ERP is Enterprise Resource Planning. Easy enough. We can all go home happy. Unless, of course, you never got around to taking that course in school entitled Vague Business Terms that got shortened into authoritative acronyms to make them sound more credible. The reality is that ERP is an umbrella term for a very complicated type of software solutions. Sorry if you were looking for a simpler answer. Let's see if we could take a few minutes and introduce you to our new friend ERP and talk about how it could really help your business. So you wake up one morning with an idea for a new product. A good idea, maybe even a great idea, but your idea and a couple of bucks might get you a cup of coffee. What do? How do you make or get that idea turned into a product that customers like so much they want to give you money for it? You often start with making your idea into a design. When you start to design your product, you need to define it exactly, maybe even draw it out. ERP doesn't do that. What ERP does do is to help you start compiling a list of all the materials you'll need if you ever want to eventually build your product. While you go through the design process, ERP will let you estimate what making each unit will cost and how you decide to price it. Hopefully, your price exceeds your cost and you discover that this idea of yours might actually fly. Now you decide to transfer that design to manufacturing. No matter how pretty your design is, customers won't give you money for it, any more than they would for the bare idea. So now you have to make your two-dimensional idea into a three-dimensional product. ERP helps out here as well. It allows you to set up a supply chain, bringing all the necessary materials together to build your product. Vendors from all over can be accommodated by ERP, which can send them purchase orders for those materials. When the materials are ordered, the schedule for their delivery, shipment instructions, payment for these materials, and eventually their arrival and receipt can all be handled by our new friend ERP. These materials can even be identified in the warehouse using straight logistics, barcodes, or even radio frequency. ERP will handle all that for your business as well. Maybe your original idea was not to make or design your product, but buy it from somewhere else and distribute it into a new market. ERP doesn't mind. It will take care of you all the same, tracking your inventory of raw materials or bought goods for resale without showing any favoritism. While all this making or buying is going on, you've sent out a sales team to find those customers out there who desperately want to give you money in exchange for your brand new product. Their job is to get those orders rolling in. Your ERP will obviously take care of those orders, but can also keep track of the salespeople's territories and their commissions. And then the day arrives. Customers appear over the horizon, eagerly waiting to give your product a new home on their shelves. ERP will welcome those customers in and take all their information for them. It will help you keep track of all their many wants and needs, including the fact that they want your product to be customized just for them. And when they say the check is in the mail, you could trust their credit for 30 days to the extent of $200,000. ERP accepts their orders and will automatically figure out what is needed to fulfill them, how long it will take, and what you should charge for those orders, including all the local sales tax deductions. In the case of really big and demanding customers, they're using something called EDI. An ERP will often include an electronic data interchange module as well. ERP will help you fulfill those orders. If you're in the distribution business, ERP will tell you how much inventory you have on hand, where it is physically sitting, and give your packers instructions on what to pick and put into the containers for those customers. ERP will arrange the shipments to get your product to your customer, fill in the paperwork for you, even the custom stuff to get it over national and international borders. ERP also determines what each of your packers get paid, writes the checks, and makes automatic deposits for them. If you actually manufacture the products you are selling, ERP will translate sales orders into detailed work orders, outlining each step of putting your product together. How much material it will take, the labor involved, quality assurance processes, and even what tools or machines are needed in the manufacturing. It will pay your production staff by the hour, or maybe by the work done, or even a mix of both. ERP knows what your team knows and makes sure that people are assigned to jobs that they are trained for. It will track where the finished goods go and how they eventually get put into containers to fulfill orders and then shipped, just like with distribution. All of this information allows it to compile some pretty amazing reports and statistics. So management can make themselves look all-knowing with very little effort. That's part of their job description, right? A live dashboard of what is going on throughout the company is available so decisions can be made on an up-to-date informational basis. Not that running a business by the seat of your pants every day isn't exciting, but our friend ERP is a little vain and avoids getting gray hairs. ERP will also help you put together your financial documents for filling in your taxes and submitting your remittances. So what does ERP do? A lot.
Did you know the ERP system experienced rapid growth in the 1990s because the year 2000 problem and introduction of the Euro disrupted legacy system? The ERP system typically include the following characteristic. An integrated system that operates in real time or next to real time without relying on periodic updates. A common database which supports all applications, a consistent look and feel throughout each module. Installation of the system without elaborate application or data integration by the information technology IT department. There are a number of powerful advantages to enterprise resource planning. It has been used to solve a number of problems that have plagued large organizations in the past. It should first be noted that companies that fail to utilize systems such as ERP may find themselves using various software packages that may not function well with each other. In the long run, this could make the company less efficient than it should be. There are a number of processes that a company may need to integrate together. One of these processes is called design engineering. Another area where ERP can be useful is order tracking. When companies receive orders from a product, being able to properly track the orders can allow the company to get detailed information on their customers and marketing strategies. Perhaps one of the most important advantages of ERP is its accounting application. It can integrate the cost, profit and revenue information of sales that are made, and it can be presented in a granular way. However, with all the advantages that ERP offers, there are a number of disadvantages as well. High investment. One of the biggest disadvantages to this technology is the cost. At this time, only large corporations can truly take advantage of the benefits that are offered by this technology. Cost of training. The success of the system is fully dependent on how the workers utilize it. This means they must be properly trained, and a number of companies have attempted to save money by reducing the cost of training. Alteration. Most ERP vendors will not allow the structure of the software to be altered. One advantage to ERP is that making the necessary changes to use it may actually make a company less competitive in the market. And ERP is still evolving, adapting to development in technology and the demands of the market. 4 important trends are shaping ERP's continuing evolution: improvements in integration and flexibility, extension to e-business application, a broader reach to new user, and the adaptation of new technology. First, the ERP software packages that were the mainstay of ERP implementation in the 1990s and were often criticized for their flexibility, their inflexibility, have gradually been modified into more flexible products. This is the second development in the evolution of ERP. The growth of the internet and corporate intranets and extranets prompted software companies to use internet technologies to build web interfaces and networking capabilities into ERP systems. The internet connectivity has led to the development of enterprise ERP systems that provide web-enabled links between key business system of company and its customer, suppliers, distributors and others. All the developments have provided the business and technological momentum for the integration of ERP functions into e-business suites. Some components of ERP are here: transactional database, management portal or dashboard, business intelligence system, customizable reporting, external access via technology such as web services.
When implementing a new ERP system in an organization, you, the business analyst, are confronted with different people with different needs. To provide them with a solution, you need a technical team. Breaking the communication barriers between these people is key, and therefore you need a modeling language that everyone can understand. There is one, BPMN, which uses a fixed set of objects and rules to visualize business processes. But drawing all these processes is time-consuming, and when dealing with complex ERP systems, mistakes are easily made, and that only leads to miscommunications. Wouldn't it be great if you could draw these BPMN models automatically from a business process repository, like the one stored in your client's ERP system? It would mean a reduced workload and no errors. Sure, but who wants to install complicated software that needs extensive learning? No need to. Meet ERP Visioner. ERP Visioner is the lightweight bridge between a business process repository, the BPMN standard, and a user-friendly software package that you already have and already know, Microsoft Office. How does it work? Simple. With ERP Visioner, you copy the implemented business processes from any repository, for example, SAP Solution Manager, to Microsoft Access. Now you have an easily accessible and portable business process repository that you can connect with Microsoft Visio. ERP Visioner combines this data with the BPMN standard and lets you create BPMN-compliant models in Microsoft Visio in a highly automated way. And that's not all. ERP Visioner also checks the authorization and roles from your client's ERP system. So now you can validate your models in the blink of an eye. When you can flawlessly model business processes with your favorite tools and with ease, your clients will love it, because it's the starting point of an efficient communication and collaboration.
Supply Chain Management (SCM) is a process of planning, implementing and controlling the operation of the supply chain with the purpose to satisfy customer requirements as efficiently as possible. Supply chain management spans all movement and storage of raw materials, work in process inventory and finished goods from point of origin to point of consumption. The term supply chain management was coined by consultant Kate Oliver of strategy consulting firm Booz Allen Hamilton in 1982. A supply chain is a group of components, suppliers, distribution points, transportation provider necessary to bring product from its raw material state to the end use. Supply chain management is the term used for controlling and regulating supply chain. Supply chain management (SCM) is the oversight of materials, information and finances as they move in a process from supplier to manufacturer to wholesaler to retailer to consumer. Supply chain management involves coordinating and integrating these flows both within and among companies. In the 1980s, the term supply chain management (SCM) was developed to express the need to integrate the key business processes from end user through original suppliers. Original suppliers being those that provide products, services, and information that add value for customers and other stakeholders. Let's talk about the components of SCM. Plan. This is a strategic portion of SCM. Companies need a strategy for managing all the resources that go toward meeting customer demand for their product or service. Source. Next, companies must choose suppliers to deliver the goods and services they need to create their product Therefore, supply chain managers must develop a set of pricing, delivery and payment processes with suppliers and create a matrix for monitoring and improving the relationship. This is the manufacturing step. Supply chain managers schedule the activities necessary for production, testing, packaging and preparing for delivery. The supply chain management. Flows can be divided into three main flows. The product flow includes the movement of goods from a supplier to a customer as well as any customer returns or service needs. The information flow involves transmitting orders and updating the status of delivery. The financial flow consists of credit terms, payment schedules and consignment and title ownership arrangements. Information is crucial to the performance of supply chain because it provides the basic on which supply chain manager make decision. Information technology consists of the tools used to gain awareness of information, analyze information and execute on it to increase the performance of the supply chain. Information is a key supply chain driver because it serves as the glue that allows other drivers to work together with the goal of creating an integrated, coordinated supply chain. Information makes the supply chain visible to a manager. A supply chain management stream can be divided into three main streams: product, information and finances. Product. Goods moving from sources through manufacturing processes and ultimately onto a customer to include services such as customer returns. Information. Transmitting orders and updating delivery status. Finances. Credit terms, payment schedules, shipments and contractual relationship. Because of advances in manufacturing and distribution system, the cost of developing new products and services is dropping and time to market is decreasing. This has resulted in increasing demand, local and global competition and strain on supply chains. Manufacturing execution system appeared in the mid-1990s, evolving as all other supply chain information technology. The original focus was to manage demand on manufacturing organization with respect to quality, standards, cost reduction, schedule and ability to react to change. With time, function have emphasized support traceability. The MES functionality now integrates support to most manufacturing execution processes from release of production orders to finished goods delivery. MES also triggers supply chain replenishment upstream, telling sources that replenishment inventory is needed. These systems use a common user interface and data system to integrate support to multiple locations or organizations within a supply chain. And MES offers the following functionality: scheduling, process management, document control, data collection or acquisition, labor management, quality management. Transportation management system provides software support at an affordable level to control shipping. A variety of alternative sources are available to increase visibility and generate more efficient solution to move material in an increasingly complex environment involving many risks: piracy, war, regulations. Functionality provided includes transportation mode planning, optimization models and workflow management. The TMS software can be obtained from vendors, some of whom are listed here: AquaShip, GEOCOMTMS, HiGem acquired Pinnacle, Infor, 12 Technologies. This list includes the two flagship ERP vendors, Oracle and SAP. It also demonstrates the volatility of the industry, showing a number of acquisitions. Other means of TMS acquisition include in-house development, hosting by an ASP or software as a service. Firms also have options with respect to software within specific branches of the organization or enterprise with wide support. Today's users require flexible reporting tools to extract the information as and when they need it without depending on an information system department to produce the report. And they also need electronic data interchange (EDI) to electronically accept customer information like purchase orders, schedule amendments or cash, and electronically send data such as order acknowledgement and invoices to customers. Integration of information system can be further enhanced through Imagine. Imagine provides the ability to display drawings or specification. In addition, it provides the ability to store original sales orders, purchase orders, quotations, contracts, etc. Closely aligned to this is the electronic approval process. Two quadrants represent the strategic and business planning activities supporting. The left quadrants depict functionality relating to materials, while the right side depicts it for resources. The upper left quadrant represent activities that go into the strategic and business planning process for materials. The most crucial is engineering change management. Whether it is the management of new product introductions or changes to existing products, integrating this application fully into the enterprise system is important. Other important applications around the circle are bills of material or product structures. The materials database should provide for a single repository for item data shared by a variety of applications such as sales order processing, inventory and warehouse management, forecasting, material planning, purchasing, shop floor control and product costing. The database should include many units of measure costing and pricing, rules and multiple item numbers per item with full cross-referencing capabilities are specific functions that should be available along with provisions for multiple locations where an item could be stored. Now in the end, let us summarize what we have learned in this lecture. Enterprise Resource Planning ERP system is a business management system that comprises integrated sets of comprehensive software. The ERP is the evolution of manufacturing requirements planning MRP. Second, from business perspective, ERP has expanded from coordination of manufacturing processes to the integration of enterprise-wide backend processes. Enterprise Resource Planning ERP is an industry term used to describe a broadest of activities. The BOMP is a combination of information technology and business processes of maintaining the appropriate level of stock in a warehouse. Supply Chain Management SCM is a process of planning, implementing and controlling the operation of the supply chain with the purpose to satisfy customer requirements as efficiently as possible.